On July 13, 2025, Muhammadu Buhari, one of Nigeria's most controversial and consequential leaders, died in London at the age of 82. His death marked the end of an era, one shaped by military coups, ballot victories, towering promises, and bitter criticisms. To some, Buhari was a no-nonsense patriot who tried to clean Nigeria with iron and fire. To others, he was a stubborn autocrat who never truly grasped the soul of the nation he ruled twice. But whatever side of history you are on, one thing is clear: he left a permanent mark. Born on December 17, 1942 in the quiet town of Daura in Katsina State, Muhammadu Buhari was the son of a Fulani farmer. His father died when he was just 4, but the values of discipline, control, and hard work were drilled into him early. By 19, he had joined the Nigerian army. He trained in Nigeria, India, the UK, and the US, quickly rising through the ranks. He fought in the Nigerian Civil War, earned command positions, and by the late 1970s had become one of the most respected officers in the country. But respect turned to power in 1983 when he took over Nigeria in a military coup. Buhari came into power promising to clean up a corrupt, chaotic Nigeria. His regime wasted no time showing what that meant. And at the center of his crusade was why? The war against indiscipline. Forget theory, this was a personal thing. Why was not a suggestion, it was a correction, a national attempt to beat the country into discipline. If you were caught littering, you could be made to sweep the street on your knees. If you were late to work, soldiers locked office gates and turned back civil servants. If you jumped a queue, be ready to be flogged in public. If you didn't greet properly, prepare for drills or humiliation. Driving with one hand outside the window, you were stopped, warned, or punished on the spot. In markets, bus stores, banks, post office, uniformed soldiers stood by watching, waiting, and enforcing. Even students weren't spared. In schools, children were taught to march, queue, and recite civic duties. At home, parents were told to train their children better or the state would. This was not a soft campaign, it was militant, direct, and unapologetic. At first, many Nigerians fed up with chaos loved it. People lined up properly at bus stops, workers stopped showing up late, parents said finally someone is enforcing order. But as time passed, fear replaced admiration. The press was silenced, detainees were held without trial, critics disappeared, human rights were largely ignored. One editor reportedly spent months in jail for publishing the wrong cartoon. Even international observers began asking questions. Was this discipline or dictatorship? Why try to fix a broken culture, but in doing so, it exposed a broken approach to leadership, one that believed force could replace reforms. In August 1985, Buhari was overthrown in another coup, this time by General Babangida, and just like that, why was gone. But the fear and debate remained. After years in the political wilderness and 3 failed elections, Buhari returned in 2015 as a democratic convert, and for the first time in Nigerian history, an incumbent president was defeated. Goodluck Jonathan conceded. Buhari, under the banner of the All Progressives Congress, promised to end corruption, to crush insecurity, to fix the economy, and at first, many believed him. Some of his major achievements were the anti-corruption efforts where his government recovered billions in looted funds. The Treasury's single account TSA curbed leakages and the EFCC was given more teeth. There was infrastructure where big-ticket projects like the second Niger Bridge, Lagos-Ibadan Railway, and new airport rolled out under his watch. We also have the youth and social programs where initiatives like Empower, Anchor Borrowers, and the Not Too Young to Run Law aim to empower the next generation. Boko Haram decline was also seen. His military strategy pushed Boko Haram out of several key strongholds, and the Northeast slowly began to rebuild. But the cracks were loud, and despite the progress, things began to unravel. Under Buhari, Nigeria slipped into 2 recessions. The naira collapsed, inflation spiked, and unemployment soared. In markets, mothers cried over food prices, youths despaired over joblessness, and it was hard to tell where the discipline went. While Boko Haram weakened, bandits, kidnappers, and unknown gunmen took their place. The Northwest bled, and mass abductions became weekly headlines. Peaceful protesters demanding an end to police brutality were met with bullets, as soon as the Lekki toll gate became a graveyard of hope. The government denied, and the people never forgot. His government also removed Chief Justice Walter Onogen under questionable circumstances. He was accused of appointing Northerners to almost every key position, and certain leaders called it bias, but Buhari called it merit. But the country was growing colder, divided, and frustrated. On July 13, 2025, Buhari died quietly in a London hospital, far from the noise of Nigerian politics. The presidency confirmed his passing after months of speculation about his health, and the reactions were instant and polarized. Supporters hailed him as a man of integrity who tried to save Nigeria from itself. Critics said he died the same way he ruled, distant, rigid, and unwilling to listen. Muhammadu Buhari will remain one of Nigeria's most polarizing figures. To some, he was the symbol of integrity, a rare man who lived modestly in a sea of corruption. To others, he was rigid, out of touch, and dangerously indifferent to suffering. But one truth is clear: Buhari shaped Nigeria twice. His military rule changed how government power was wielded, and his civilian rule changed how it was perceived. He leaves behind a country still battling the demons he once promised to defeat: corruption, insecurity, poverty, and division. Whether history will judge him kindly or critically depends not just on what he did, but what those after him do with what he left behind. Reporting this is Whimsical Amy. Please do well to like, subscribe, and share.